welcome back. So today we're going to be doing a story time. It's not really, to me it's not that funny, but I've seen a lot of stuff recently kind of come out like locally and in like other towns and whatnot, like a neighbour to my town. And I thought, you know what, like this isn't okay, like you need to get exposed. I have screenshots of every damn thing that I need. So without further ado, let's go. So this is about LDS. LDS stands for Little Dessert Shop. There's been a lot of stuff, like a lot recently, and I just thought it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, he's actually taking the mic, and you need to get called out because you think that you can treat people the way you want, and you can't. You can't. It's not on. So, I no longer work for this company. Gang. And it's a good job I don't. So, in this video, let me just state now, this is not slander. This is based on facts. It's based on shit that's happened. There is no lies or anything. So if any of the staff members come across this video, which I know they will, or any of head office come across this video, which I know they will, yeah, I know that they'll come across this video, and they'll probably try and use it against me because they'll probably try and get money out of it because they're a money grabbing company. And I just need to, state now that, because I'm talking to you now, head office, and people that work there. We'll go for head office. I'm talking to your head office. You know that what I'm saying in this video is the truth, and you know that you do not have a leg to stand on. Go and look at your Indeed reviews. So, I started working for this company in April of 2018. I will include a screenshot of like a pay slip dated to me around that time because these people are liars and I can't stand them. Honestly, can't stand them. So yeah, when I first started this job, I loved it. Honestly, it was like the best thing. I enjoyed going to work. I looked forward to going to work. The vibes, the people that I worked with, like, it was just a great atmosphere and a great environment to begin with. I'm not gonna lie, it was. But as time went on and as the novelty of having a new dessert shop in the local area had worn off, it got a little bit dead, got a little bit dry, do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, oh, look for things to do because there was nothing to do. And as time went on, we was not getting customers. Like, let me tell you, why are you doing that? Anyways, like, we were not getting customers. We used to have to look for things to do, like they'd tell us to like get on our hands and knees and like scrub, pull the fridges out, pull the freezers out, scrub and clean and whatnot. And that's kind of with this is some cleaning ting. I forgot what it's called because I've not worked there in a while. So that was the gag. And they used to have to shut the shop earlier because they weren't getting any custom, and also the attitude of some of the workers was just like, it wasn't on, and people, they weren't about that life. So there was like, I'm not going back there, the customer service is vile. I'm not going back there because there's flies. I'm not going back there because they don't wash the stuff properly, or they don't do proper PPE, or they don't do this and they don't do that. So yeah, like, it's just a little bit not very hygienic. The first store that I worked in, by the way, was the Sutton Coldfield store, which is in Mere Green, which is about freaking like 5 minutes from my house, if that. So I started off at that store, and as I go along, like, you'll find out. So it was a franchise when I was employed there, it was like a franchise, yeah. But it was still, I was still with Little Dessert Shop. Let me make that clear. I wasn't with like David's Desserts because the owner of that shop at the time was David. I wasn't with like whoever else afterwards, like just because they took over from David. I was still employed with Little Dessert Shop. End of that. First owner, he went, and then the new owners come in, and they promised us a lot of stuff, and it's just kind of like, well, why promise that when you know you can't deliver? Like, it's a little bit silly. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit dumb. They used to promise us like trips and meals and like incentives to work harder, and let me tell you, do not break your back for a minimum wage job. 0-hour contract, because they don't care. They don't care about you or about anyone at all. Let me tell you. So yeah, no, don't do it. Minimum wage, minimum effort. You got it? So the next owners come in, and you know, we're working hard. Everyone that worked there and that was employed there at the time was working hard. They did get rid of someone because of their allergies, but this person had been working for the dessert shop more or less kind of like since it opened, around the time it opened, and had no issue, didn't have an allergic reaction to anything, and he was fine. But because they was just looking for an excuse to get him out of the company, they used his allergies. He's not consuming the food, he wasn't eating the food, no one was. It's just they didn't want him to work there, so that's what they did. But they didn't have the balls to say, you know what, we're just gonna sack you, we don't want you to work for us. Like, you can't do anything because you've not been working for us for 2 years. So like, we're just gonna get rid of you. But they don't have the balls. They act like they do, but they don't. So yeah, that's what they did with him. And then actually no, that was after the second owners. I told a lie right there. That was when head office come and took the store over. But yeah, it still stands. They didn't have the balls. And with the second owners, I know everyone that was there worked hard. Everyone that was there got along. It was jokes, it was a laugh. You could have a laugh and everything. But second owners of this franchise, they just were so disgusting and so disgraceful, like bottom barrel. I overworked myself one shift, and I overworked myself to the point where I had collapsed. Like, I was like, oh yo, it's hot in here, and next thing you know, I've carked it, I'm on the floor. I literally, eyes rolled back in my head, people thought I was dead, and only one person from head office helped me out, and he had to tell the franchisee to ring the ambulance. Like, does that not just click in your head? No, your employee has fainted, and you're just looking at them on the floor. And then like the other franchisee come in after I'd like regained consciousness and whatnot. The other franchisee come in, looked at me on the floor, was like, "You're having fun down there," stepped over me and went about his business. I was like, cool. I gotta love that. So I was like, bro. And not long after that, these people were out anyways. So, to be honest, probably should have just left after that. But what these people did, they shut the shop down without letting head office know. And I had to contact someone that I know from head office and be like, what's going on with the store? They didn't even know that they did that or that they'd done that. And they opened the store back immediately because they said that the store had closed for refurbishment. Don't know why you'd lie about something like that. You closed the store because you're not seeing the money what you thought you'd see, which is fair enough, but don't lie to the people because you put it on Facebook. That's false advertisement. You Can't date that. So yeah, anyways, head office come, they took over the store, and I obviously still worked for these people, and was doing a lot of hours there. I always did do a lot of hours there, even though it was 0 hour contract. And sometimes you wasn't guaranteed any hours or any shifts or whatnot. I a lot of the time worked between like 25 to 31 plus hours. It would really like depend on the day and whatnot. And the thing is though, when head office come and they took over the store, they took the piss. With me, I can say 100% they took the piss, because they knew I lived around the corner, literally not even 5 minutes away. They're like, oh, if such and such is sick, call Talitha in. If such and such doesn't want to do their shift, call Talitha in. She lives around the corner. Like, they use it as an excuse, and they would always put me on the night shift. I would give my availability for the morning and the evening. Now, please do not think, that because I live around the corner, you can continue to put me on the PM shift, because that's not where it's at. It's not, no, like, we're not doing that. We're absolutely not doing that. But you know, they did that. So I guess it was the gag. And they just didn't care. They made out like they cared for their staff members. They didn't. They really didn't. And they took the store over in January of last year, and I finished working at the Mere Green store and was transferred to the Tamworth store in December of last year as well. Yeah, I got that right. Timeline's correct, you know, bro. So, to be fair, I knew that the person that had taken over, one of the people from head office that had taken over the Mere Green store or the Sutton Coldfield store, he did not like me. I don't know why. I don't care. He's mud anyways. But he didn't like me, and he was definitely trying to push me out and trying to, you know, get me out of a job. I don't know what his problem was or what his issue was. He's just such a batty crease, a curmudgeon batty crease at that. Like, you think you're God's gift, you need to be brought down a peg or 2 or 3, however many, to bring you right back down to earth and let you know that you are not the shit. You're not prestige. You can't dress. I'm sure you impregnated a 16-year-old. Like, and you're what? 30, 31, 32? I'll go and sit down in one next corner if I was you, honestly, love, because you should just sit this one out. Honestly, just sit this one out. So, yeah, he didn't like me. He was trying to push me out. It is what it is. But I left before I could be pushed out. Got transferred to Tamworth. One other person in head office, he needed staff at the Tamworth store, and he was in charge of the Tamworth store. So I was like, yeah, why not, love? Honestly, they're not giving me the shifts here anymore, really. So I'll come. And it would have been stupid for me not to, honestly. I've got a car to pay for, I've got my gym membership to pay for, I've got my phone and, you know, my necessities. I've got all of that to pay for. It would be silly for me to stay working at a store around the corner that's giving me 1 shift a week on minimum wage when I could go Tamworth and get however many hours on minimum wage. And he did follow through. He did give me the hours. Like, I rate him, he's up there higher, but you know, in my estimations. And yeah, kind of whilst working for this store, I had a lot of things. One of which was that when I moved to the Tamworth store, the glass display, it had just shattered, and I've seen the CCTV footage of this actually. It had just shattered and it had cut and I think broken the manager at the time had broken her nose, and like the gas had went into customers' food. It hit. I'm sure it hit customers as well, and you know, nothing was done. Like they didn't give anything to this woman or anything. Like, yeah, there was like nothing was done basically, and it's just like wow. I don't know when that incident happened because I was not at the Tamworth store at that time. But also, let me backtrack a little bit. It was a month before I left the Sutton Coldfield store. I had a car crash in November of last year. You know, was left with sprained ankles, whiplash, eye abrasions. I couldn't see for shit. Bruises wherever the hell I had them. So I was off work for 2 weeks. I'm sure it was 2 weeks. I was off work, and I gave them my sick note. The sick note, which I still have, I'll insert a picture of that as well. I gave them a sick note. It was sent off to them twice. So I was supposed to get SSP for those 2 weeks that I was off because, you know, car crash. I'm not gonna come to work, am I? But no, they didn't give me it. And I chased it up and chased it up and chased it up, and it's like, oh, we haven't seen it. Like, yes, you have. It was emailed twice. Once by the supervisor of the Mia Green of the Sutton Coldfield store, and once by the manager of the Sutton Coldfield store. So don't lie. You've got that twice on record. Do not lie, honestly. And I was there when the supervisor of the time of that store emailed them a copy of my sick note. But yeah, they didn't want to give me that. Or no, didn't give me it. And yeah, it's just disgrace. So I moved to this Tamworth store, you know, and I kind of got put, I want to say, like, on a par with this girl, this Russian girl. That's all I'm going to refer to her as, because anyone who knows me, any of the head office, and you all know who I'm referencing. So I don't need to know. I don't need to say her name. I really don't need to say its name. So yeah, I put on a par with that cretin, and she didn't like the fact, because she'd worked with the company for a longer time than I had. She started off at the Wolverhampton store, and then she didn't. I think she started off at some next store. They've got so many. I don't know how, to be honest, because they're not really making that much money. So she started off at one next door, then she was at Wolverhampton, and then she was at some next door, and then me and her got put in Tamworth at the same place, same time, you know, same level. But the difference was I was a lot more reliable than her because I can drive and she can't, and she didn't like the fact that people would be like, well, Talitha can pick up stock from the Sutton Coldfield store and bring it here. You can't pick up any stock from any other store and bring it here because you catch public transport. You know, the ice cream would melt before you get to the store. This would happen, that would happen, blah, blah, blah. You're not as reliable as Talitha is. You're not. She didn't like that. And it's peak, but it was the truth. At first, I thought she was all right. I'm not even gonna lie, I thought she was all right person, and it just, you know, I grew to realize, you know, she was not a nice person. She's a vile person. She's vindictive. She's manipulative. She's jealous. She's also mud. Looks like she don't want to brush her teeth. So yeah, like, it's just not the best. So yeah, this girl, she didn't like the fact that I worked there less than she had, and we were at the same level, more or less. She didn't like it. It is what it is, you know. You get told something by your immediate manager, you just do it. Like, it's as simple as that. But she used to love to think she had some sort of authority over me. She used to love to think that she was above me, she was better than me. She used to rush her desserts and they'd look hella ugly like her. And, you know, like I'm over here, like, you know, making really pretty desserts, still getting them out so they're hot, but so that they're presentable. But, you know, people don't be doing these things. So, but anyways, as I was saying, like, this girl, she just didn't like me. She didn't like me because she was jealous of me. She was jealous of the fact that, like, we've more or less been given the same kind of role, well, the same role, but she's been working there longer. She didn't like the fact that, you know, a lot of people, when they came in on shift, it was like, hey T, hey Talitha, and it was hugs and whatnot. And whereas, like, whenever they'd see her, they'd be like, hi, hey. And I don't blame them. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't blame them. I wouldn't want to hug her. She smells. She does. She smells really bad. This isn't like even an attack or anything. Like, she just needs to know that she smells like she has severe halitosis, severe body odor. Like, how are you smelling out of every single orifice that you have? Like, I'm not understanding. I'm actually not understanding. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. It's not adding up in my head. So yeah. There's her, just can't stand her. Head office as a whole, they're trash. Straight up, they're trash. They don't care to sort out anything that you have, like any issues or anything. I quote, the company doesn't like things like sick pay and holiday pay. How can you not like things that are the law? Stop changing your name on Companies House, by the way. It's changing it, but the name is still the same on the frontage. You can't do that. It's illegal. Keep dissolving the company, and then they keep dissolving the company, and then you know, not opening it back, and like under a stupid name, and it's like, that's not the name of the store though, so why are you doing that? It's because you're not making the money, and instead of letting the store go, you're just wasting more and more money that you don't have. You've claimed furlough for your company-owned stores. You haven't claimed them for the franchisees because you can't, because that's down to the franchisee to claim furlough, the job retention scheme for said store. But you, head office, claimed it for the stores that you own across the board. And you know you have, and I know you have, and you still lied and didn't give anyone from the Tamworth store what they're owed because you didn't claim it for the Tamworth store. You claimed it for Little Dessert Shop. You claimed it. You used us to sign up and get more money to to get more money to then use it for whatever the fuck you used it for, but not give it to us. That doesn't make sense. And also, that is also illegal, I'm sure. So not only am I owed sick pay, I'm owed furlough. I'm also owed redundancy money because this company knows that I've worked for them longer than 2 years. They just don't want to run me my pay, which is fine. They don't have to, because the court will do it for me. I have everything that I need. Honestly, I have it all. And they should be, and I feel like they will probably be sorry that they decided to just not go about things the correct way and in the correct manner, because had they done that, this video would not be existing. It's not slander because everything happened, like everything is fact that I've stated in this video. And you know, like, it's just not false, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a ting and ting that happened, a lot of ting and tings that happened, a lot of stuff went on with this store, a lot of rumours, you know, as a member of head office, this is like, that's like fucking 31, 32 years of age, and I'm sure he impregnated a 16-year-old, and if that doesn't scream paedophile to you, then I mean, I don't know what does. I'm not gonna lie. Well, I mean, I hear she's 16. Do you know what I mean? She could be 17, even 18, but that still doesn't really matter because them ting and ting shouldn't be going in. I'm not even gonna lie. But he thinks he's stush anyway. He needs to go sit down on one side because I don't know who he thinks he is. Absolutely not. And next gal, this Russian one, she needs to go sit down on the other side. Because that's who she thinks she is. Honestly. Really? Head office. I just trash. This isn't even like slander or anything. There's like two. I don't know. I was gonna say there's like two good people in head office, but I mean, is there? Because even so, like, it's not an excuse because whoever comes from head office still thinks that they can talk to anyone any which way, treat anyone any which way. It's not hard to be kind. It's really not hard. Like, it's nice to be nice. Do you know what I mean? But these people don't like being nice. They love to try and exert an authority and kind of low-key like threaten people, try and intimidate and scare people. But listen, I'm not the one. I'm really not the one. So more from there. The hygiene standards in the individual stores, trash, absolute disgrace. The Sutton store had flies all over the walls, all over the cutlery. You know, like there was always blockages. There was feces in the toilet sink, the customer toilet sink, might I add. There was pigeon in the back of the store. Like, what are you doing there, please? They don't care about the standards of hygiene. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even gonna lie. Tamworth store, on the other hand, I can't lie, when I was transferred to that store, it was immaculate. But they still used to kind of try and be like, you know, get on your hands and knees and, you know, scrub. And like, you'd break your back and work so hard for peanuts, and it's like, why am I doing this? I don't need to, I don't want to. But also, I'm not really having any other opportunities, and it's kind of like, they didn't really care anyways. Like, if you did have any other opportunities, like, they still low-key wanted you to just, you know, work for them. If you wanted to, like, go on, like, they used to be like, oh, you can make this your career. Make what your career, please? Make what? I'm not staying in no digger dessert shop with a face like this and a body set like this to work for yous lot for eternity. You lot must be on crack, heroin, ecstasy, MDMA, weed. You must be on it all. Honestly, you must be on it all because you think I'm so, you never that. Absolutely, never that, never, ever that. A lot of people are also malicious and vindictive. Head office, malicious, vindictive. The liars, they're bad liars. I don't know why they lie like the way that they do. It's embarrassing because you're growing as people at the end of the day. Like, what are you getting out of lying to a 19, 20-year-old? I'm 20 now, but I was 19 at the time. But what are you getting out of? Why do that? I'm not understanding at all. And I've had people message me and say, oh, I used to work for this company, they never paid me. I used to do this for this company, they never paid me. And it's like, I don't know what you want me to do. I can't physically do anything other than this video. But I could only advise you to take these steps. But then it's down to that individual if they wanted to or not. Do you know what I mean? Loose eyelashes. Yeah, if they wanted to. And I saw on someone's Snapchat story that Sadiq Khan's daughter was working at the store in London, and I just thought, why? Like, why would you? why? Yeah, nah, honestly. You know, when you think back, you're just thinking, why? That's me. But I'm going to tell you about my ting and tings with this company. Right now, I have nothing to do with them. Obviously, never, ever, ever will ever again. No, this company, not in terms of like just me, but like a lot of other people as well. Like they've burnt a lot of bridges because what they did. Boris Johnson, our Prime Minister, says everything after lockdown upon the 21st of March 2020. It's 21st, you fucking idiot. And only reason I remember that is because I was going on a night out and we was like, oh my god, like scrambling to try and find somewhere because nowhere was like, people were like, no, we have to close because of COVID, no, Prime Minister's announcement, blah blah blah. And then yeah, so that was the gag with that. And this company, this store, Tamworth store, still stayed open for about 3 weeks after that announcement when they were supposed to have shut, and they said that they could stay open under the food bill, I quote. I'll insert a screenshot of that since I have all my receipts. And I was like, food bill? You know, okay. Doesn't make any sense, but you know, we move, go. And then they was kind of being like, you know, if you still work for us, like throughout the pandemic, we'll add an extra £1 to your hourly wage. Which I don't think that they did. I'm not going to lie, I really don't think that they did that, because I think it's another thing to entice us to work. Me, I'm not stupid, so I did not go. A lot of people did not go and take up that offer, but one girl did. She went and took up the offer, don't know why, and then she was saying that she lost a sense of taste and a sense of smell, and I thought, corona. So you know, that's why you don't work for minimum wage. You don't work for the devils themselves. So yeah, and what happened after this is that we get paid, or we were supposed to get paid on the 5th of every month. So that's yeah, like the 5th of every month. It went from weekly pay to monthly pay, and we were supposed to get paid on the 5th. And now next payday for us was the 5th of April, and the 5th fell on a Sunday. So if payday falls on a weekend, you're supposed to get paid the Friday before and not the Monday after. But lo and behold, they paid us the Monday after. But this is where everything just kind of goes downhill from there, and everything gets a little bit sticky. So yeah, what happened was that one girl messaged the group chat, since all the LDS stores have group chats with their employees. So LDS Tamworth, Lichfield, Maryhill, Wolverhampton, Sutton Coldfield, Glasgow, Block Switch, all of them, they all have their own group chats on WhatsApp. And in the group chat, she was like, hey, like, I haven't had my pay slip. Is there any news like on when we're going to be paid? And a lot of other people chimed in and was like, yeah, I haven't been paid either. I haven't been paid. And the paedophile from head office opened his mouth and was like, oh, hi, I see how you can ask about your wages, but when it comes to work, to answering about work, no one can be bothered to answer. Yeah, because no one wants to work during the middle of a pandemic, love. You should know that. You have kids, don't you? Like, I'm sure if it was them, you wouldn't want them to work in the middle of a pandemic. So allow it. Shut up. Go relax your lips, close your lips, and go sit down one side with your friggin' 16-year-old baby mama. And I replied, I have all these screenshots, so I think I'm just gonna, you know, enter them. But well, I'll not think, I will, you know, plug them. and iPod, I was like, you know, people have stuff to pay for. It wasn't said as nicely as that, I won't lie, because I'd lost all my shit with these people at this point. Like, I'd lost all ounce of niceness I had left, because there's only so much you can take, and also I'm not a dickhead. Like, you will not take me for a dickhead. Absolutely not. I'm not the one. I have overworked myself for that company to a point where I collapsed, I fainted. I've overworked myself to the point where I'd have mental breakdowns either at home when I'm by myself, or when, like, I'd be going to get stock or something from the stock room, and obviously I was by myself. Like, I'd have to, like, give myself, like, a pep talk or something. There was also one incident where he doesn't work for the company anymore, but he did at the time, and he was a part of head office. He used to, I'm assuming he must have fancied me, because he always made comments on the way I looked. Not in a bad way though, like, it was unwanted attention, do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want him to be like, yo, you look good today, like, your figure's banging, or you're really pretty and shit like that. Like, I already know, but you don't need to tell me. Thanks, but no thanks, because I know what you're trying to get at, and I know what you're trying to do. You need to move. Honestly, you need to move, because I'm not the one. But he touched my bum, and I told the owner of the shop at the time, and he was like, take it as a compliment. I thought, what the fuck? Take what as a compliment? So I had to tell somebody else in head office, and like, that person dealt with it. This person was also my friend, so, like, that's the only reason why it got dealt with. Had he not been my friend, I don't think it would have been dealt with in the way that it should have. I'm not going to lie. But it's yeah, I guess it's a good job that he was, and that it was sorted. Yeah. So after I replied, he never replied. The paedophile, he didn't reply. Somebody else replied to me and was like, well, if you don't like the way that little dessert shop conducts its payroll, then with all due respect, you shouldn't be working for the company. And I thought, who are you talking to? It could never be me. So then I replied, and I was like, Anna, love, listen, relax yourself, because I'm not the one. Technically, I didn't say relax yourself, I'm not the one. I said, with all due respect, you know, it's not my fault that you can't pay me properly. And all the time, these are always moving goalposts, and we're just supposed to comply with these every time we change shit up on us. Like, it's not fair. And then she didn't have much to say after that. But then one of my colleagues, she replied, and she's one of my best friends, and she backed the case. And gang shit, honestly, it was gang shit. She was great, absolutely brilliant, I love her to bits. But then after that, the owner of the dessert shop, like the creator of LDS, then replied saying, don't reply, this is an attack on me personally. How is us stating the truth an attack on you personally? What, so you're admitting you don't know how to run a business now? Yeah, love, like, is that the gag? Is that the case? Because if that's what you're taking the attack as, then I guess it's what you call it. I mean, I'd call it stating facts and just stating the truth, but you call it an attack, you know, we'll go with whatever. Honestly, we'll go with whatever. But that happened, and there was an argument, and yeah, like, then nothing was kind of said. But I had a lot of the staff members at the time messaging me saying, oh my god, thanks so much for saying something, like, thank you, you know, like, you had them there, I really wanted to say something, like, I totally agree with everything you said. And it's just like, as much as I love you, you can't expect me to be your spokesperson, because that's not what I am. I speak for myself only. I'm not in person. So I'll say whatever, I'll do whatever. But what I said, everyone at the store, like, had been affected by, like, as in something had happened to them and they was agreeing with what I said, because it was the case, it was true. And you know, that's why they agreed with me. But and they also agreed with my friend as well, and they said the same things that they were saying to me. They said to her, like, they appreciate her speaking up and saying something, but at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, you can't expect me and Z to be the spokesperson for you all, because you're not saying anything. And then one person turned around and was like, you know what, I'm gonna say something, but didn't say anything in the group chat, sent her a private message. And then I just thought, and then like the tone of her private message was a little bit too friendly for me. I'm not gonna lie, like, not being funny, like, you have just, like, I would like to say I washed her in the group chat, like, because you ain't said anything else now, love. Like, what do you say to that? What do you say to that? Because what can you say? And yeah, like, so she said Pim now. But to message someone that was speaking so blatantly out of order and disrespectfully to me, why would you do that? Like, why would you even come with any ounce of kindness? This is why I rate Z, because she come and she just was like, fuck this, I ain't letting you talk to her like that. But the thing is, I didn't let her talk to me like that, but I just love Z. Like, she is that girl, honestly. She is. But yeah, like, that happened, and after that, they closed the store down. They made everyone that worked there at the time redundant. Now, the only person eligible for redundancy pay at this point is me, and I felt so bad because this store hadn't even been open just over a year, and I felt really bad because I thought, oh, like, I'm gonna be the only one, or I should be the only one getting a redundancy payout. So at this point now, I'm owed sick pay, petrol money, furlough, because I know they claimed it, and redundancy money, and I've not had one bit of it. I've already worked it out. I know how much I'm owed. They probably know how much I'm owed as well. They're probably also just going to take the mick as well, but you know, I can't really expect anything less of that company because that's what they do. They are just such a disgrace. They're just so grim, so vile. They exploit the young. That's what they will always employ, young people. And then as you grow older and as your minimum wage is going up and up, they're like, no, we don't want you anymore. We don't want you. And it's like, word, okay. But yeah, it's just, I know I'm like, I'm only saying fact. Can't no one come and say anything to me because it's all based on fact. Everything I've said in this video is fact. So it's not slander because you've done this. These events have happened. They're on a chronological timeline. Get to know. But yeah, they made everyone redundant, and there was an issue now because I'm like, okay, well, you still owe me this, this, and this, and you owe me this, and they're like, no, you're not eligible for redundancy money. You've not been working with us for 2 years or more. If I have to send you my pay slip, then I do. They tried saying, well, it was a franchise at the time, it wasn't owned by Little Dessert Shop. Yes, it was. Yes, it was, because although it's a franchise, Little Dessert Shop is still getting a cut and a fraction of that money. So don't lie. Don't lie. But you know, they're liars, so I mean, like I said, can't really expect anything less of these people. And I had to contact my MP, Andrew Mitchell, just to try and like get through to them, and then they like replied to Andrew's email because he sent it to me, and he was like, there was like, oh, like, we'll deal with this with the utmost importance, blah blah blah. It still took them another like 4 days to answer me, and then even when they did, it was kind of like, well, why did you go to him? Like, you're supposed to go through a complaints procedure, you're supposed to go through this, you're supposed to go through that, blah blah blah, rare, all of this, that, and the other. And it's like, well, I didn't, because had I have gone through that anyways, you would not have contacted me, like, you would not have answered me, because you know that you owe me money. Even still now, you know you owe me money. And it will get run to me. Like, you will have to run me my money, honestly, because you will. Like, you can't exploit someone for so long, someone so young, and someone that just had like a passion just to work, not necessarily in that field, but just to work in general, and had a really good work ethic. And I'm not even just talking like about just myself. There's been a lot of people that have had really, really, really good work ethic and a good attitude to work, especially in that place. And you could see their happy-go-lucky self and their brightness and their light just dim and dim and dim after every shift that they had, because this place was taking it out of them. And the reason why I've like done this video is because it was like the last straw for me. I was sent a Facebook post and I was like, word, okay, well, that can't run, that's not okay. And I will include a screenshot of this Facebook post because it's not fair how Lister Dessert Shop Tamworth, so head office, treated this girl. But also, I'm not surprised, I'm not shocked, because they did it to me, they did it to a lot of other people that I know. And they're just liars and they're fake, and they love to try and push out incentives but never actually follow through with them. So it's just like, well, why say that you're gonna do all of this stuff and you just don't do it? Like, there's no point. Don't lie. If you have no intentions of doing something, then don't say that you're gonna do it. That's like the worst thing that you can do. It's one of my biggest pet peeves as well as people talking to me when I've got my earphones in, because why would you do that? Like, I'm not pausing my music to listen to whatever you have to say, honestly. Anyways, so yeah, it's just no, like, curtains for this company, in the sense that I think they've ticked off a lot of people now. Yeah, they've ticked off enough people and treated enough people wrongly and differently, and like not giving them what they're owed and what they're due, and not treating them with the respect that they deserve. Because I feel like there's just a basic level of respect that you just give someone, and then it only grows more and more when you get to know that person more and whatnot. And you know, they don't care. They'll probably see this and they'll be like, oh, she's chatting wash, she's chatting shit. But am I? They only care about image. They care about how they look. And if they think that they look good, they don't care. And you have to, for them, obviously, like you would with any company, I suppose, would have to portray the company in a good light. But can't do that when you've wronged so many people, when you know you owe so many people money. They made their staff redundant, might I add. I know I've already said this, but they made their staff redundant, and they've opened the shop back up and started hiring again. That's illegal. I'll have to get like a lot of, not have to, but like, obviously I've got my head screwed on. I know quite a bit of stuff, but I go to my mom, since my mom's an accountant. She's no way affiliated with this company, with this trash company, absolutely not. She's in a league of her own, and she works at a different company, and she's the accountant. And oh yeah, they sell rivets, might I add. I mean, so if anyone's out there and needs rivets, then I guess Bralo's your go-to. But yeah, she's the accountant there, as if she has to know the law, and especially revolving around all that stuff, which she does. So I used to obviously go to my mother whenever I needed any advice or help or anything that it was. So yeah, this company needs to know head office, more or less, because they're the ones that run these head office owned stores. They need to know that it's not fair, the way that they're treating people. You can't tell someone that's got an illness that if their illness won't allow them to work whatever hours you want them to work, that they might as well not come back. You can't have that sort of attitude, and then when they quote the law and state the law to you, you want to turn around and say, I don't care what the law says. You don't care what the law says? Okay, then go to prison. Honestly, go to prison. Like, it's absolutely stupid that remark would come out of your mouth. And I know who said that as well. No names were mentioned in that Facebook post, but I know exactly who they were talking about. So it's just, yeah, they don't care at the end of the day. And you can't, as an ex-employee of the company, I'm talking to all past employees now, you can't hurt your head over why they treated you a certain way or why they've done what they've done, because they're stupid, they're idiots, they're pigs, they're pigs, greedy for money and greedy for clout. And if this gives them even a little bit of clout, I'm literally going to be like, oh my god, what the hell. But yeah, they're greedy for a lot of that stuff, and it's literally just kind of like work for it, but they haven't. And everyone in head office, they just care about image. Like, one person drives a Beamer, one person drives a Merc, and if one drives a Volkswagen, and they like walk like they've got a swag walk, and it's kind of like, I'm prestige, I'm this, get to know, like, I'm from head office, you should know who I am, bow down type. It's like a caste system there. And it's like, you've got your workers, and they're like freaking bottom of the barrel, like peasants, and then you've got head office like right at the top, right at the pinnacle. And anyone that works for head office knows, well, not knows, they think that they're the shit. And I feel like all of them just need to be brought back down, because I don't know who told us that. I don't know who like who told them lies, whatever lies that they needed to hear to help them sleep at night, because it's just absolutely ridiculous. But a lot of stuff always happens within this company. They always kind of fuck people over. I'm not gonna lie, they do. They play people and they lie, and it's just always will be to benefit them. One day they will have their comeuppance, like karma will get them for all of the people that they've wronged, not just me and not just the girl on Facebook. Well, yeah, the girl on Facebook, a lot of other people, because you'll see from the job reviews. And you know what, I'll just include a link in the description, because I'm not going to include every single bad job review, because I think only about 2 of the reviews are good job reviews, and there's about 60 odd of them. So I'll just put that link in the description, to be fair. But it is piss poor form from them. Like I said, they don't business, they don't care. They clearly think that they're above the law, and they're not. But I've heard a lot of other stuff about this company, and I mean, if I say it, and I don't know it's true, so if I say it, then that is something that they could have against me, to say it's slander. And I believe it to be true. I do believe it to be true. As I've heard this from multiple people within the company and out of the company, and it's just like, well, if that is true, then you are going to be in a whole lot of trouble, and I really wouldn't want to be the owner of the company or anyone in head office, because if you're in head office, then you're in the know and you know what they're doing, kind of, more or less. They're all like related, honestly. They try and keep it in the family, but there are a few people there that are not related. And yeah, so with this big piece of bad boy information that I'm sitting on, honestly, if it's true, if I find it out to be true, it's curtains, it's over, it's hella peak, like, it's so peak. But like, all they need to do is run me the money that they know they owe me. I worked out what I'm owed, but if they're really not trying to do that, then I guess that, you know, I might have to find out if this information that I know is true, and then if I find out that it's true, I don't know what I'll do with that information. I really don't. But like I said, I just would not want to be any of them, because it will be so peak, because it's like the worst thing really that you can do in the eyes of the law and the government, because yeah. but I'm not even going to say anything too tough because obviously I don't know if it's true or not. So to conclude, the company's trash. Don't eat there, don't waste your money there, don't work there, don't break your back to work for people that don't appreciate you, don't care about you. It's just ridiculous and it's unfair, and it's just something that for me it's it was an experience, as in I know what to put up with and what not to put up with, and I will never ever in my life, I'm only 20, but in my life, so obviously I'm still young, I'll never put up with that shit again in a job or in anything. But it got to a point where I was working for them and they clearly didn't care for me, so I thought, well, why should I care? Like, why should I? Like, I've fainted, not literally broke my back, but like, you know, I break my back to work for you, and you know, you're just not appreciative. So what is a girl to do? Honestly, what is one to do? So yeah, the moral of the story is, do not be fooled by the pretense of people and, you know, the facade that they love to portray. Because people will portray, obviously, themselves in the best light. Companies will portray themselves in the best light. I would say do your research first. So anyone out there who has a interview or a trial shift or anything like that for any of the little dessert shop stores, research that one store that you have a trial for. And if like the reviews are saying like, yo, it's shit, like the service is vile, blah blah blah, I'd allow it. I wouldn't go to the trial shift, to be honest. I really wouldn't, because they do love to exploit young people. They do. And yeah, and I also saw on someone's Snapchat story that the mayor of London's daughter was working in one of the London stores. Why? Why are you giving her peanuts as well? Or is it just for something for the press, to put in the press? Because like I said, they only care about image. It's just hella embarrassing. But yeah, I think honestly, I just think I'm gonna end the video here. Like, you know, gonna say my goodbyes. Definitely got more story times, to be honest. I'm not even gonna lie. Oh, what a lot more story times. So yeah. No, gonna go. I'm gonna go and edit this. I need a drink because my throat's dry. I'm dipping, I'm going. But like, comment, subscribe, you know, do all that fun stuff. Is it fun? I don't know. Should do it, find out. But I'm dipping lipping. Ciao.